I'm London Jen. This is Battle Rap World. I have tried this once, twice, and this, I hope, is third time lucky. I am here with a man of many interviews, but if you pay attention, of many words, which I think is more important. I didn't plan an introduction, so I'm freestyling and I'm not that great at it. So I'm just going to bring him up now and say, Ace, welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. I'm here.
No, thank you for joining me. You are not an easy man to get hold of. It is 6:07 as we speak. I think
Yeah,
the last time it was like 7:30 in the morning. But
yeah.
I'm grateful. You're looking very dapper this evening. Thank you so much for dressing up for me. I really appreciate the effort.
I mean, I wish I could claim to be such a gentleman, but I'm just leaving an engagement with my family, so I was already suited. But for the purposes of the interview, if that works better, you're welcome.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate the professionalism. So when we last spoke, it was just before the John battle was supposed to go down. We didn't get to finish that interview, and
Yeah,
you've done quite a bit of talking about that battle. So I'm not going to talk to you too much about it. What I
yeah,
do I want to ask you a couple of questions. The first thing I have to ask, I think, one of the biggest talking points of that battle was all the cap or all your caps.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
you've talked a lot about that. How did John react to that? Do you think that sort of
I think it kind of threw him off.
yeah.
I think it kind of flustered him. Because what it does is it diverts the. I'm giving away a little bit too much, but it is divert the attention away from shit he's saying to me while during his round. So it's a natural born defense. Yeah, I mean that. I think it worked. I think it worked. Not the whole point wasn't to necessarily um make him fuck up or make him uncomfortable. It was just to give him something else to worry about. So if you actually pay attention to when he brought the round all the way back, the non-choke, it was actually after he addressed me having all the hats on. He's like, he got all them fucking caps on, and then he forgot where he was at and had to hit him there.
The
So
reason I asked actually is because at one of the point where one at my in my notes of that battle, one of the points where I've written the caps, I've written, did it throw him off, question mark, because it looks as though he's very much thrown on. That was thrown off, not thrown on. Something else I wanted to ask about that battle, the chokes. So John says he didn't choke in that first, and that
yeah,
he brought back his material so that the crowd could hear it, even though he didn't
even
do a mic check. And
yeah, and even though they repeated the song, the words with him when he was doing it. So
so that was not a choke.
it was definitely a choke.
I mean, it was a choke. Sorry, it was a
Definitely,
choke.
definitely.
What about your third? Was that a choke? You
Nah, I just didn't. I wasn't clear about the fact that I was done rapping because yes, I had more material. I had a lot of material not left in that round, but a lot of shit that I left out of each round. I kind of was just grabbing shit and doing what I do. Like I knew the shit so well, it wasn't like a linear thing. But the last thing that I was gonna say in that round required crowd participation, and because I saw that they weren't reacting, I was out of there. So I didn't forget it or anything like that. I just didn't signal to the host that I was done rapping, and I'm kind of waiting for him to say I rap on Smack all the time. I'm used to Smack saying, "Yo, give it up for such and such and
jumping
such."
in, yeah.
When the round is done, so I was waiting for it, and then I'm talking to my people in the background. I'm having a whole conversation with them
Yeah,
about how I felt about what's going on with Twerk and with Sheed and with all of them. I'm talking to them, and then they're like, "Oh well, you gonna still rap?" I'm like, "Oh, like nah, I'm done. I was waiting on him, so it is what it is." But nah, I
let
knew
me
my shit. I knew my shit. I didn't forget nothing. I didn't fuck up. It wasn't nothing like that.
you mentioned twerk there. I saw some footage. I think it was on Battle Rap Trap actually. Shout out Henny Man, of twerk initiating some booing in the show off battle. I think it was.
Uh huh.
Um, Did you see or hear that? And did you?
Nah, I didn't show up.
Okay.
I didn't show up until the very end of Bad News and Snake Eyes Battle. I came before the event started. Then I left early, and then I came back. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see any battles in person until Snake Eyes and
Yeah,
Bad News. And it was the
I
very end.
said
It was the
show
very end of the
off.
battle.
I said show off. I meant Snake Eyes. I've got that pulverized bar in my mind. It just
Uh,
will not leave. It was brought up a few times tonight as well, I think. So
yeah,
yeah, it's just show off is stuck in my head. But I meant Snake Eyes. When I saw Twerk booing just before your battle was about to start, I did think it wasn't the smartest thing to do to sort of hype the Atlanta crowd to be booing just before the start of your battle. But
yeah.
yeah, that was a side note. What
But
did you think? Have I
yeah,
lost audio? I know I can
nah,
hear
I,
you.
I can
You
hear you.
good?
It picked up on my phone for some reason. My Bluetooth picked you up. Sorry.
Just phones just doing their own thing.
It literally did whatever I wanted to do.
What did you think about John throwing the money out to the crowd?
He was trying to recreate the Jack Boy moment. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was kind of predictable. I kind of knew he was gonna do something like that, but it didn't really work. But whatever. I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at it. I didn't hate it. Like that was bad, but I didn't really necessarily like it either. I was just indifferent. He did his thing though. I don't want to take away from
Mm.
him doing. He did damn good in the battle. I don't want to make it seem like I didn't think that he did. He did good. He did good. He didn't
It was a great
he didn't
battle.
come in there. He didn't treat me like I was a nigga. He just thought that he could just get over on. He didn't come in there like that.
At all. Is that how you? I'm sure you expected him to come like that. You obviously respected to some extent, at least I imagine, John's
Yeah,
abilities and his pen, his abilities to win battles, and strategically sort of win his rounds. So yeah, I wouldn't think for a second that you had doubted that. What do you have to say? I saw a lot of comments over my timeline and even conversations with people sort of saying, finally, this is the ace that I wanted to see,
yeah.
or what do you have to say about those sort of finally type comments? Do you feel like that was your
Um,
best performance ever?
no. I felt like it was the toughest opponent, biggest stage, biggest moment, but it wasn't the toughest. No, or the best me. No, like in terms of like being able to navigate the crowd better because it was a hostile environment. I wish I would have done a little bit better there, um, but like there's been situations where I've battled in neutral grounds on stages where a lot of people were there, and I did better. But I feel like it was a complete performance though. You got everything. You got angling, you got some personality, you got jokes. I was rebuttaling and freestyling. It was a very complete performance. But I've had performances I think that I did those same things in when I battled Burt Bucks. I felt like I did a lot of that. Even when I battled
But
Fuse, I didn't
the
really
Burt
freestyle
Wax
against
one
him.
was very comfortable. Yeah, you were freestyling. You had the mid-round freestyles. It was a very sort of commanding, similar poised performance in my
Yeah,
mind. Didn't look like the
yeah. So
first time you were doing that up there.
yeah. So I tend to be comfortable on stage. Like, long as I know my shit, I'm pretty comfortable on stage. Like, that shit don't, nothing about the stage is scary to me. You know what I'm saying? So,
I saw you talking about that in your My Expert Opinion interview. I think it was. Shout out to Math Hoffa. Um,
yeah.
Dope interview. That was a really cool, and congrats on getting that interview. Not everybody gets to go and sit in those barber chairs.
Yeah, that was my
Um,
second time there. That was my second time there, though, just so we know.
but this was that was your second time there. Did I miss the first one? Did you go up there by
You might have,
yourself the first time?
my first time was early on. It was me and Mac Mill. It was like one of the first
Okay.
episodes of MEO. I don't remember which number it was, but it was one of the first ones.
What was this number?
This was, you know what number this one? When I just did, it was the I beg your pardon number, Takashi number.
It was episode 69. So that's your second
Yeah, there you go.
appearance up there. This one,
Yeah,
you were there in your own right. I don't know if you
yeah,
were before, but obviously the platform is a massive one. He's hosted some of the greatest names in battle rap and rap. But one of the things you talked about there and struck me, and I'd forgotten, you've been battling for less than sort of 2.5 years.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and
People overlook that. They don't want to credit that, but
well, it made me straight away think of you're known for, or not known, but the thing that is most sort of critiqued is your interviews, your antics, or your hyping things, your sort of promo. And
yeah,
when you balance that against the fact that you've been battling, your first battle was 2.5 years ago, your very first battle,
yeah,
and you've battled the names that you have on the stages you had, with the stakes, you know with the stakes that you've had, even
yeah.
just sitting there talking about it on my expert opinion, to me really struck me. What do you think about that? You're sort of 2.5 years in.
Uh, I don't really contextualize it that way unless I'm talking about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just go it more so in like information acquired and experience acquired, knowledge, information that I've, invaluable information that I along the way have been able to gather and be able to utilize in like in business in terms of negotiation and marketing and realizing the next move and being abreast of what's going on, what direction battle rap is turning in. That's the most invaluable part of it for me is that I'm able to remain adaptive, even though I have such a short time in. I've been able to just sit back and be patient and utilize my ability to observe in that time period, and it's really like that has been. I think people don't really give that enough credence as to why I've been able to kind of propel myself. It's been through observation, and then having standout performances. When I initially came on the scene, so. Um, I don't really look at it that way. To answer your question, I don't think about it until like you ask me, and then I kind of like contextualize it, or if there's a reason to bring it up. It's like when sometimes people talk about other people who are in the class, and they say like, "Yo, like your come up has been similar to this person's." I'm like, no, it hasn't. Like most people have been rapping since 2011, 2010, 2009, 2008, which is nothing wrong with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that in and of itself speaks to why a person took this long to get. Some people, everyone develops at their own rate. You know what I mean? So some slower than others, but it's just all about what you do with that development. So, but no, I've been here a relatively short amount of time, and I think I've maximized. I think I've made some mistakes, of course, but I've learned from them. So,
Well, anyone that has to, I guess, make mistakes in any path that they're um starting on. And as 2.5 years in, you're pretty much a rookie still
yeah,
at anything. So to be
yeah.
where you are, is a testament to what you do. Do you think it's a strength, therefore, then, that your strategy and your sort of the amount of thought and intelligence that you put into it is, do you think it's a strength that is looked at as antics or sort of clout chasing rather than what it is?
Yeah, I mean, war is deception. So if to achieve your goal, the objects that are placed in front of you believe you to be something that you aren't, which makes it easier for you to achieve your objective, then of course I embrace it. Anything that um, anything that eliminates hardship or resistance in my path to my goals, I'm all for. You know what I'm saying? So especially if, like I said, my intention isn't to do the things that they think. Like if it'd be something different if I actually intended to quote unquote cloud chase or to use antics, quote unquote.
Sure.
It would be something different. But if my intention is to just capitalize off of their attention that they've paid to what I do, whatever they want to say, they can say. I welcome it. I'm not mad at it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't, because while they're doing that, I'm on my next move. I'm counting the money from the last one. So you know what I'm saying. So I don't really. It doesn't bother
Their
me.
opinion of you is none of your business.
It doesn't affect the it doesn't affect the income. So I ain't tripping.
Okay. On that same sort of talk about intention, there was a face-off that just dropped out of nowhere this week
Yeah,
on
man.
Champion, titled
Yeah.
Civil War. Now, that was a conversation that just seemed to start out of nowhere. Where did that? So I didn't catch it live on Caffeine. I caught
Yeah.
the part one, which we'll get back to. I caught the
Yeah.
part one on YouTube, and it just seemed to start in the middle of a conversation. How did that conversation start? Because it sort of seemed to start with you and Eazy being less cool than we're used to seeing you, especially of late.
Just two competitors. That's my guy. Like, don't get it twisted. That's my guy. But we're both very, very competitive. So, um, you know, I've always said for a long time that eventually he and I will have to have a conversation, and that's what we be wanting the people to know as the new era, as the spokes, as not the spokesman or the spokespeople, as the representatives, the multitudes of us, the representatives of the new era. We've stressed to people that while we're a movement, we're cool with one another. We got smoke for everybody in the ring. There are no limits. There aren't too many people from the new era that I won't battle, and the ones that mostly the ones I've already battled, and that's the only reason. And some of them we gonna have to have some rematches down the line for some reason. But Easy my guy. It was just two competitors, and it ended up going left. Like it is what it is. That wasn't necessarily the plan, but since we're here, it's like fuck it. Well, since you want to talk crazy, well, how about this? You know what I'm saying?
You
So
just sort of, okay. One of the biggest questions I have from that face off is it homage or homage?
I was just talking shit. Yeah, I was just talking shit. It's whatever sounds better at the time. Homage.
Homage, yeah, I
It
like
depends.
that. I
It
don't
depends
even
on which.
say
It
homage.
depends. It depends on which side of the Atlantic you're from. You know what I'm saying, if you're
Yeah,
from this, if you're from this side of the Atlantic, it's probably homage, and if you're from your side of it, and depending on where at specifically on your side of it, then it's homage.
I like that was a little war within the war. Um, had you, before this impromptu face off, had you been thinking about with Eazy?
No, I mean I knew that it had to have. I wasn't like it wasn't on my to do list. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
it was definitely one of those things like, yo, if it presents itself, he definitely gotta go at some point. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like bucket list material. Like, yo, before I leave battle rap, I gotta battle Eazy the Block Captain. That's no insult to him. Like I said, that's my bro. I fuck with him. That's my little bro. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with him. It's my guy. He's talented. He's talented. He's very talented. He raps well. He comes from the same type of
Extremely
struggle that I come from.
talented.
You know what I'm saying? He comes from the same type of struggle I come from. He knows pain. You know what I'm saying? He knows
Mm,
pain.
you can hear, you can tell. What was it that made you get up and swap seats and turn it into
I don't
a
remember.
real
Face off situation.
yeah.
I don't remember exactly what he said, but something kind of triggered me that made me feel like, yo, I need to get into. Because at first I wasn't really in debate mode. I was in discussion mode,
Mm.
and something he said made me get into debate mode. It's like, all right, well, let me hammer your point away because you're about to say some things that I don't necessarily agree with. So let me express to you how much I don't agree with them. So I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what point I got to. I don't remember, but I just remember saying to myself, all right, well, I think you got me fucked up. Let me tell you why. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, I don't know if you remember at this point, Easy said the only reason that you can talk to him is because of the John John battle. You didn't really defend that point. Do you agree with it?
No, he got to say, all right. So the whole object in a face-off is to heighten your plight while diminishing another's. You got to make yourself seem like it's power oriented. You got to make yourself seem like you're the advantageous or you're the one that's given the shot. You got to paint yourself in that light, which is I think a bad tactic for a lot of times because um only time I do it is to counter someone else's point. Facts are facts. You know what I'm saying? The best thing you could do is argue from the position of facts. So I let him say things like that because at the end of the day, I mean, if that's his opinion, if he honestly, if he's stating that, it's because it's an opinion, because it's not factual, it's subjective. You know what I'm saying? So if he thinks that, it's nothing for me to contest. I can't really contest that. If you really think that, then you really think that. But in terms of talent, we know what's up, nigga. Like he know what's up. Like it's in terms of versatility, there's nothing like I said, and he knows it, which is why he didn't contend it. There's nothing lyrically, rapping wise that Easy can do on a track or off of a track that I can't do. But there are several things that I can do that he is unable to do. So
Are we going to hear about those things in the second part? Because that was titled part one.
nah, I didn't detail him. Like he know what they are. Like it's
Okay.
just it's evident. You go watch our performances and you'll see it. You know what I'm saying? It's evident. It's not even like it's no secret. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like actual rapping ability, like high end rapping ability, there's really no conversation to be had. He's good though.
So you're saying your technical rapping ability is better than his,
It's
but he can't do
far outweighs.
anything consistency, perhaps. Would
In
he
terms of
have that over you in terms of his consistency of performance?
I mean, it depends on what you say. He's been here 8 years. I don't.
True.
He's been here 8 years. I haven't been here 8 years. I can't say.
Hehe's had the
Can't say.
opportunity to be consistent over you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I can't say. And it's
So
not a knock to.
I hear that. J Black titled the video Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
That made me think of a card where the New Era class are at war.
Mm-hmm.
It was obviously spearheaded by a You and Eazy face-off. There's a second part coming. Does that sound at all plausible? Does that sound like something that might
Sounds like a great idea. If
it
you
sounds
ask
like a
me,
great idea.
great idea. I mean, I just hope that other people feel the same way. The one responsible for coming up with these type of situations, I hope that they feel the same way that you feel, because I think that
I
it
mean, that
sounds like a
sounds
very good
exciting.
idea. It
It
does.
sounds like, yeah, it sounds like the sort of the next phase from the original Ultimate Madness tournament, and even a lot of what's happened since. It sounds like the next logical step in my mind. I remember about a year ago, there was similar sort of buzz around a battle that hadn't been booked, but there was a lot of energy for centering around an impromptu debate. You and Chess,
Oh
there was
yeah,
a lot
shout
of
out to.
energy for that. Is that something that you some would some is that something you'd still be interested in? Because that's a battle I'd really like to see.
Definitely. I mean, but it was literally only created because of that conversation. Like, it was never a desire prior to that for that battle to happen. But after that conversation, it was clear that we had some things that we needed to discuss. So, I wouldn't mind.
But you've got other
I wouldn't
things
mind.
in your mind, on your mind at the moment.
The bag, the bag,
Okay, and the bag
the
doesn't
bag,
sit
and
with
get better
chess
and
right
get better.
now.
And I mean, it's wherever. I you know, You just got to create the situations, man. Like I feel like certain people have become. You have to create value. I feel like you have to create value, and once you've created that value, you can take that value and place it where you see fit. So I don't think that it's limited to one place or one person or one opportunity. I think that we often we often we we handcuff ourselves when we try to find one avenue. I think that it's better to have a million ways to make $1 than one way to have $1 million. That makes sense. So
Yeah, it makes a lot of
uh,
sense. Yeah.
that's my
So
honest to God
multiple
thoughts.
opportunities rather
What's
than
that?
one
Rather than
golden
putting your
egg.
back to one golden egg and then that cracks and then you don't have anything. But you have, so it's like when you have those million ways to get $1, one of them might end up getting you 500,000, and another one might be getting you another 600,000. So now you've got two ways out of 1 million that are already giving you $1 million, and then you still got 999,998 other ways that you can get that dollar. You know what I mean? So it's just don't spread yourself too thin. It's really unless you know for a fact that this thing is gonna pay off. But I don't believe in trying to hamstring myself and placing myself in one particular category or situation. So I'm not married to anything
Yeah, it
in
makes
that sense.
sense. That makes sense. And then you keep your situation fluid and you
Exactly.
can adapt as you go along and
Exactly.
create the interest for something.
Exactly.
Okay, it
Exactly.
makes sense. All right, I'm going to wrap up. I've got two more questions. Well, I've got one that you, I hope, will answer, and then one that you might not answer. Um, what is your superpower? Do you have a superpower, and what is it?
I don't have a superpower, but of something that I have been blessed with, discernment. Very good. Very good. I see well.
Mm.
I see very, very well. I see very, very well. Like, um, don't know where it comes from. I just always been like that. I can see very, very well. In terms of character, in terms of analytical thinking, in terms of processing information and data, in terms of spotting patterns, in terms of problem solving, in terms of puzzle solving. I'm very like I can discern very well, and so. Because of that and learning I'm very eager to learn. I'm very eager to for new information. I'm a sponge. I'm literally in my advanced age still on a quest for whatever amount of
Advanced
intelligence.
age.
Yeah, at this advanced age that I'm at, um I still seek knowledge and information ardently. So yeah, that would probably be it. I'm assiduous when it comes to the search, the pursuit of knowledge and being able to see. And then I trust my discernment as well. Not to the point of like it being a um a hindrance, but I trust what I see. I trust my ability to process information very well. So
Bars. Okay. I like that answer. I really like that answer. I was not expecting that. And I've worded and then reworded and reworded this. At the opposite end of the spectrum, have you had a kryptonite in the past? I won't ask you if you have a current kryptonite because kryptonite obviously is something that will weaken you. So
my
it's not a
my
question.
trust my trust in my discernment. My trust in my discernment has oftentimes been a very,
Okay.
very, very, very big weakness. Because I trust myself so much that I don't question myself sometimes more enough. I don't question myself as much as I should. Well, I have in the past. I've gotten better. I'm young. As I said, when I was younger, I was very like I trusted what I saw, what I thought, what I felt, what I gathered. I trusted observation. As I've gotten older now, I'm a lot more patient. So I can sit back and let things develop for what they are. I can let them unfold which I could do when I was young too. But I'm just like I'm less prone to jumping head first now. I kind of like have a plan. Everything's pretty like calculated with me. Everything for the most part. So
Okay, well, I like those answers. That was cool. Wasn't expecting that, but I think that is often what I expect from you, the unexpected. It makes you a little wily in certain situations, and I think that is a great trait to have as a battle rapper. But yes, thank you so much, Ace, for coming on, for finishing this with me. It's
yeah,
taken
from having it's been taking a long time. This has
and
been months in the making.
yeah, many attempts, lots of Wi-Fi, lots of streams. But thank you. No, I really appreciate you taking the time because I know you're really busy and you're always, you're always doing something. So I appreciate you taking the time out. Where can people follow you? Where can they go and find your music? What can they be plugged into?
I don't want anybody finding me, but on Instagram, I'm Amin23. On Twitter, I'm Amin23 _ On Facebook, I'm Amin. On YouTube, I'm also Amin. On LinkedIn, I'm Amin. On I don't know any other platforms that I'm on right now off the top of my head, but I'm Amin on every platform in some form or fashion or another. 23rd is
I,
the neighborhood that I'm from, so it's Amin23. 23rd is the word. Big plug shit, brick boy till I die. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Amin23. You can find me on all platforms streaming. Amin23. Year of the Wolf. YLTW2. Go check that album out and be safe out here.
okay, well, thank you, Ace, and thank you everyone for watching. Click the like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps with the algorithm stuff. And I will. Have I had lipstick on my teeth this whole time? I'm not even going to close up and see if I have because. Thank you. We are out. I'll see you next
You gotta
time.
cut that part out. You can't leave that in.
I just talk to the camera like I'm talking to myself.